So, good evening, everyone. And this evening we have the lovely Rani Bora going to be taking this amazing webinar. I know it's going to be amazing because I know how amazing she is. So I'm just going to hand over to you, Rani. I will admit people, and if there's any admin you need to do, and you can just do your magic for us.
No pressure. Let me do my magic. Ooh. So lovely to see all of you. Wow. I'm just taking it all in. It's a different experience than being live, seeing each other in person, having hugs, lots of hugs, and to be here. And it's super exciting because I think this is the first time we are doing a post-conference webinar, if I'm right. Yeah? And I'm the last one, I think, today. And I did this post saying, hey, this is the last one. And then I got a moment of insecurity. I said, oops, is this really the last one? Just in case. Then I quickly messaged the group saying, am I really the last one? I'm now feeling insecure. I say, yeah, Rani, the last one. I said, okay, phew, phew. I didn't make any mistake there. So welcome everyone. It's been how many weeks now? 6 weeks, is it? Almost 6 weeks since the conference. And before we jumped into this live webinar, I was asking Deborah, is there a way to do this? Are there any expectations? Are there any agreements, or do we just see what comes up? And Deborah said, whatever shows up for you. And again, it reminds me of how we all showed up at the conference. We might have a theme in mind, and then we go there and show up. And today, I don't even have a theme in mind, except that it's a last post-conference webinar. And I did have a few ideas, like, wow, what's been happening since in the last 6 weeks? So I do have lots and lots of things I could be sharing with you. And it would be nice to have a sense of where you guys are post-conference, 6 weeks post-conference. Is there still something that you so deeply saw within the conference, during the conference, and is still there, or is something fading away, or has something new occurred to you, or have you got any questions? So it will be lovely to hear from anyone. Just unmute yourself and say, this is where I am, or this is what's happening, and then you can make a request. Rani, can you say something about this? I think it will be, I know that I would be serving you best if you already have something in mind and I speak about that, rather than me saying, oh, let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about this. That too can be helpful. But as long as I know what's in your mind, then I can make sure whatever I can say is definitely directed at what would serve you most. So who would like to say something or type something in the chat if you don't want to speak anything? Hey, Claire, lovely to see you. Wow. Hey, you made it. And I acknowledge you because I know you have got 2 young twins.
Yeah, they're running. Yeah, they're. I'm just leaving Michael to it tonight, but things are gonna get crazy. I'll keep myself on mute.
Right. Okay, but thank you for joining us. Thank you. This is real life, right? Many of us had to maybe have a dinner like a bit more rushed than normal, or put things aside and say, I'm coming in an hour, I have an important meeting or something. So I acknowledge all of you for showing up. Yes, you can watch the recording, and many people have sent their apologies, but for you to be here live and to be fully present, and I'm inviting you to be fully present here for the 1 hour. We have 1 hour together, and this, you have showed up. That's the first bit here, and to be fully present, all I again invite you to is listen deeply, listen as best as you can, and knowing that whatever you hear is just what you needed to hear, nothing more, nothing less. So yeah, who wants to say anything? Yes, Karen.
One thing that kind of stands out for me just recently, and I've been reading your Facebook post and those little tips that you've been posting, I'm just trying it out for myself and I'm loving it. It's creating some sort of magic in the ordinary every day. And the other thing that I've noticed, I picked up this pamphlet somewhere. I was just passing through and it said, try praying and see what happens. So I've been doing that as well. And it created a little spark. And it's kind of leading me somewhere else because I'm going to continue with that. And that's new for me. And I think, Rani, I read somewhere that you were maybe reading some Bible scriptures and finding more meaning in that. And I feel like that resonates for me too. So that's just what I wanted to share.
Beautiful. I can certainly, that's definitely in my things of like, oh, this is what I could talk about. So yeah, we are on track. Thank you so much. That's so beautiful, Karen. I love it. I love just what you said. Oh, it's gold. We haven't even started and it's gold. Anyone else? Yeah, Anne, and then Claire. Oh, you're still muted and you're clapping, but we can't hear you. Yeah.
Sorry. No, I was joking that I've only just learnt how to put my hand up. So anyway, it's easier to do this. I think what I said at the first post-conference call with Denise was that what struck me was you, Rani, and Denise, and Beck, and well, most of the speakers were so authentic, more authentic than they've ever been before. I don't know if you recall, Rani, but when you talked about that your shoe size as a child, and you got quite choked, and Denise talked about when she still lives near her ex-partner and his new lady, and that she was talking about love, and she got a bit emotional, and Beck was very emotional when looking as a sister and watching how Beck as a sister looked at Lou while she was changing her behavior in her relation with alcohol. It was all very touching because it was very authentic. So that's the bit I thought I got so much more from listening to you and Denise and all the speakers because of that. So I had an example myself on Easter Sunday, when in the past I had a lovely holiday home at Dartmouth and I invited the family, and Easter we always used to be together. So this Easter Sunday, because I didn't have the house, nobody came. And no, that's the family. And I was feeling a bit sorry for myself and unloved on Easter Sunday. And so instead of just moaning about it myself, I tactfully thought about it. And when an opportunity came with my daughter in Bristol, I said that I hope it doesn't, I expressed some of my thinking and saying that I didn't like Easter Sunday and I felt unloved, and I hope I'm not just now going to see her twice a year. And then as a result, she texted me the next day and said she and the children are coming on April the 27th to see me. So it was quite a change for me to be so honest with my children about quite a difficult subject, really. So that was the message I really took, was to be authentic, but in a nice way. Yeah. So that was what I took away quite deeply this time.
Yeah, beautiful. In a way you can say being you is also being authentic, being you, being authentic, waking up to what's possible. And when we are being authentic, we're also waking up to what's possible. Yeah.
I mean, in your case, when I met you as the psychiatrist and I was the head teacher, we definitely had that professional distance, if you know what I mean. And I think as we've got more into this lovely understanding, we've become more and more who we really are. So it's by attending these calls that there's more of Anne and Rani and everyone else showing up. So yeah, it's because so much of life is in our working life was the identity and the roles we were playing if we're not careful, you know.
Beautiful. And you know what? Thank you for starting us off, because it's such a relief. Oh, it's such a relief that I can just be me. I don't have to pretend to be someone else. I don't have to pretend to like, oh, I know all this, and I'm so in a way perfect professional, because in a way when you're being professional, there's also this thing about like need to know all the answers. And I bet when you were a head teacher, you had to like, people assume because you're the head teacher, you have all the answers. Because people come to me assuming because I'm the psychiatrist, I have got the answers. I know exactly what medication I should be prescribing them and what medication is really going to fix them, and also answer to their problems. And I have no idea. And we don't say this, but I am seeing more and more people like when we are being genuine, even as doctor, you say, look, this could help, but I really don't know. And to say I don't have your answer is hard to digest, and it's like it makes me cringe, because all our training has been like, you should know the answer to this. And it's such a relief to be able to say, I'm still here to serve. And we don't know exactly how things work, for example. At least we know how the mind works. But in terms of many other things, we might not have a clue. And to be honest, even when we say we know how the mind works, like someone asked what is mind, thought, and consciousness, and only one person was brave enough to say something amongst all of us. Beck said, right, I'm going to have a go, and she did a brilliant job. And like I was thinking, I dare not open my mouth. I don't know what's going to come out. So so what I'm saying here is, it's a relief that we can be authentic. It's a relief that we have got a community here. The conference is long gone. 6 weeks ago is long gone. And yes, there'll be a conference in a year's time. And what we knew there was a void of a community. And this is why I'm so pleased that all 5 of us agreed that a community would be really helpful, so that we are not saying, bye, this is a conference, next year. No, let's keep in touch. Let's have this conversation going, because you know why? Life happens. Stuff happens, and to be able to even ask a question like, hey, you know what? I think I'm losing it. Can someone remind me? Can someone remind me of who I truly am? We would all jump in, to support someone. And if someone can make an anonymous post in the Facebook group, right? And they don't have to give their name and say, I'm really struggling here. I really had a good, good vibe when I was in a conference. I'm really struggling here. And then, you know what? There will be a support of the community. They don't have to go through all the details, but we are here to remind, each other and ourselves. We are human. We can be authentic. Sometimes being authentic also, we pay a price for being authentic, because some people don't like people who are being very authentic, to be, I guess. And so we can all support one another, and we can also see where our blind spots are, because guess what, Anne? I have a lot of blind spots. And it's like there's a saying that we are like, integrity or commitment or whatever goal you are pursuing is like a mountain without a roof, without a top. So we think, wow, I have been across the principle. I came across the principles about 12 years ago. I should know everything about the principles. The moment you say that, the universe will send you something that you say, like, fudge. I was about to swear, fudge. I didn't see that coming. This is not the principles. And this lesson for all of us to learn. Yeah. So beautiful. I would like to go to Karen's. Oh no, Claire. Where is Claire? Has she gone off? Because Claire was raising her hand. Maybe she had a crisis, some mom duty with the twins. But hopefully she'll come back. Is there anyone else who wants to post anything that they would like me to address? And I want to make sure that I have time for it. This is why I'm asking. Oh, there's Claire.
So I am here. Sorry, I'm like cleaning up. Well, it would be I've been very much in my head struggling since the conference, but actually recently in the last few days I've had some real insights, and I think it's to do, and it was around that thing of like look for the feeling, this thing that they say, like looking for the feeling, and like once you get that feeling, like it it's almost like you can't argue with it anymore, and like everything sort of falls into place. And I feel like that's kind of actually where I've come to over this last weekend. And so I guess I'm just curious to hear a bit about that, and like the feeling, and like how can you hold on to the feeling, or you shouldn't really be trying to, or is it that or is it that actually once you've kind of had that feeling you don't need to worry about holding on to it because it just sort of makes sense to you? And yeah, I'm just interested to hear a bit about that.
Beautiful. Well, I'm so pleased to know. I'm so pleased to know that things have shifted for you in the last few days, Claire.
Thank God. Oh my God.
I appreciate you sharing. Yeah, because we had some like changes, so I am aware. So it's really nice to know that things are shifting. So thank you.
Thank you.
So yes, we come to that. Anyone else? This is your opportunity. And obviously, if this time you can still ask, but I just wanted to check before I go on. No? Okay, and please feel free to stop me at any time. I would like you to use this as an informal conversation rather than, oh, Rani is speaking, so I should not interrupt her. If something occurs to you to share or, interrupt me, please do. I might not remember where I was in my line of thought, and that's okay. And because I want this to be an experience for all of us. I want us all to just enjoy this precious time together, and not just enjoy, it's like get something out of this, because there's always something to learn. So let me we'll come to the feeling. Let me say about what's been happening since the conference for me. So it's been 6 weeks. I've been very busy, like everyone else. And then I had my final week of AJC school. That's the coaching school for coaches that I have been part of for the second time. So we had the final weekend just after that. Then I went to my coaches event the week after, which is called a Lemron Intensive. So I spent 3 days there. Then obviously there was Easter, and lots of learning around Easter time as well for me. But the most important thing and thing that Karen mentioned, and that I had been doing with a few in this group. Who is in that group? Deborah is definitely there. Nikki, are you in that group? I can't remember. The Conscious Creation Experiment, you are there. And many people in the in the Facebook group are definitely part of that experiment. So Karen, where you're not there, right? You're not part of that. Oh, you are also there. Yeah. Okay. So basic for people who have not heard about this or who have not been part of this, is like, because my talk was about conscious creation and miracles, and it was well received, and I too felt something shift when I was delivering that. I thought, I'm going to play this. The conference has ended. Why don't I play with this and see where this takes me? And I love to give myself challenges, like 30 days challenge, 2 weeks challenge. I know that 30 days challenge is a good number. So I just announced in the group, some of you might have seen my post, just announcing that, hey, I'm going to play this game called Conscious Miracle Creation for the next 30 days. And you're welcome to play along. Who'd play with me? I had no intention of forming a small group. I thought that I will just play by myself, and people will say, yes, Rani will play along with you. But people started to say, hey, can I join? Can I join? Can I join? And I said, oh, right. Okay. So it's about joining. So yeah, why don't I start a WhatsApp group? and it just it got created. I was not even thinking about what it's going to be like and so on. It just got created, and I made up some rules like you do, you know, because the last thing I wanted was talk about anything in that group. That group was about conscious miracle creation. So I wanted to keep it very pure, that this is about what you want to create. And it's not for just posting fancy stuff or quotes. Quotes are nice, but I wanted people to just take ownership of what they're creating. And that was the most fun experiment I played, and I'm sure that Deborah and Karen will say the same, because there was something about continuing to be in a community. I think we were like 20 people, or I can't remember how many, but roughly that kind of number. And what we said that we were going to, every single day we would start with an intention of what we are going to create for that day. And it could be something as simple as I love life and love life and life loves me. Like, you know, you can just play with those. And because I remember that I was really impacted by none other than Lucy. She says, I just love, I love money, or something like this. And she mentioned a book called Money Loves Me or something. And that's where I came to the idea like, ooh, what if the thing that we love also loves us? You know, this is where I said, okay, if not anything, you can just say, I love money, money loves me, or, you know, just turn it around and just play with that. And what I also decided was, I'm not just going to play in that small group, the 20 people, which is amazing because everyone was sharing what they are creating. I thought I'll just share it on Facebook because I would like more people to see what it was possible. And that's the one that Karen, you saw me posting on Facebook, is the magic. In a way, conscious creation is like creating magic. What I realized in that experiment, which I'm also going to share in the group, I haven't yet. Now it's ended. It's been more than 30 days. So we ended the 30 days. Someone wanted to continue it. I said, no, every good thing comes to an end. You know, we need to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. We can always create another one, but for this time, it has ended. One of the things I have learned playing that is it's so easy to go down the automated way of, oh, okay, this is my life. Okay, all right, what do I have to do today? Oh, yes, oh God, look, really, it's so busy. Oh no, I have to do this. So we have a lot of thinking about the day. We have a lot of like, crikey, this is not fun kind of thing. And what the consciously, when I say conscious, a conscious miracle creation experiment, we all knew it was an experiment. It was just an experiment. But starting the day with, this is what I want this day to be about, and beyond, not just today if you want, it's a beyond. What happened to me was that I realized that, I recently have used this phrase, this term that I came across called hyper intentional, is it? Yeah, hyper intentional. I've come across this term of hyper intentional. What did conscious miracle creation game did for me was that I was in a way being hyper intentional. You can say, oh, hyper focus or whatever, but that word seemed to resonate with me. Like I was intentional, and beyond just intentional. I was like really saying that this is what I would like to see happen, and this is what I'm going to explore today. And that kind of gave me a sense of direction, because yes, there were so many things to do, but when I came back to this, it just reminded me, like, sometimes, that's how we create magic. That's how we create miracles in our life. Otherwise, like, we are feeling our thinking, our mood goes up and down, and sometimes we experience that beautiful feeling. Sometimes we're not, sometimes we're caught up in thinking. But just having a sense of direction for the day really aligns us to the truth of who we truly are. And we can play that game being authentic, coming back to what Anne was saying. Playing that conscious miracle game doesn't mean you pretend, but you're consciously saying, hey, I would like to be authentic, and I'm going to play this game my way, me being authentic, whatever that is, whatever that intention we have got. And the other reason I like that term hyper intentional is because I have come across this distinction between intention and commitment. The commitment, for a lot of people say, I don't like to commit. Commitment seems like a bit moral and judgmental. And even I had that, like, ooh, if I say commit, like, what will happen if I can't commit? So it's like something like there's a stick, like, oh, the commitment stick. And intention intention is like, oh, I have an intention, but I might do it, I might not do it. And the thing that makes a different distinguishes commitment from intention is when we say I'm committed, I have a system in place of some kind. But the commitment word itself might be a bit challenging for some people, you know. Oh, I don't like to commit. But hyper intentional is the same as commitment. It's like, okay, I'm saying this is what and I have a system. The system could be as simple as, or anytime my thought wanders, this is the question I'm going to ask myself. That could be a system, you know, you just make it up. And we all have systems in our life, in all areas of our life. And the systems are mostly what we call it implicit systems. We don't even know we have got a system in place. We are so, you know, we are so habitual doing it that we don't even know I have got this system. But what this happens is when we say I'm committed to something, you are then saying, okay, what is my system? When I'm saying I'm hyper intentional, what is my system? And we are all getting results in different areas of our life depending on what system we have put in place. Yeah, I'll give you a very beautiful example of my health thing. I have shared in the conference about my my six-pack abs journey, and I know it's like people are saying, "Oh, you're joking about it." I'm saying actually I'm serious, because it's not about like I am wanting to show everyone like, look, I've got six packs. It's more of a who am I? Who do I need to be in order to go in a journey where I freak out. Because I think about the commitment piece, like, oh my goodness, I can't eat junk food. I can't eat highly processed food. I can't eat snacks like in Indian sweets, the jalebi and everything. Oh no, I can't do that. So that's me, okay? And so who would I be in the process of saying, like, I have a system in place. So in one area of my life, that I'll talk about the health area, I have got a coach, and we are looking at my not just my exercise and my movement, but also my diet side. And if we were just to take this, like the simple, we all, as in lifestyle medicine, there's a branch of medicine called lifestyle medicine. We talk about the 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine. So there is sleep, there is the diet or our food, then there is exercise and movement, there is how you deal with your stresses, how you abstain from addictive substances, how your connection to yourself and to others, all of those are 6 pillars. So we know that the exercise bit is really important, and also the nutrition side for any physical health goals we might have. And I'm finding that this is the one area of my life I'm only doing it since the last 3 months, since January, and it's been 3 months because I started on the 15th of January, and today actually is the 15th of April. So 3 months. In 3 months, it has not been easy, because it's so easy to persuade myself and say, yeah, go on, one more sweet, one more Indian sweet is not going to harm me. But yeah, it's very, very sweet, lots of calories, like the jalebi. I don't know whether you have you know the jalebi or not, but oh, I love it. And you can imagine we had Holi, and we celebrated Holi at home. We bought loads and loads of sweets and everything. So I had all my weaknesses to like go and have more sweets than I would, and I know it's good for me. So anyway, I have systems in place because of my coach, and I know that, okay, these are the 3 days, three times a week I'm going to the gym. This is what I'm going to do, like a strength training, and this is I'm going to keep my food clean. And you know what? I have been good, and I have also like struggled. Like, when those incidents happened, like when we had the holy celebration at our house and we had all this, I was binging when that jalebi. then I have to check in with my coach. And thankfully she was, or thankfully or unfortunately, she was on holiday, so I didn't have to do check-in. And I was hiding. I said, I'm not going to tell her that I have done this. And so it was really interesting how, like, we hide, we try to hide, like, oops, maybe I failed and I'm not going to tell her. And the conversation with her was really helpful because she didn't tell me off. She was saying that, hey, what learning have you got here? What's your learning? And that's what I would like to invite all of us, in life. So even when we are doing this, whether we are or not, when we are saying, this is what I want in life, this is my conscious miracle creation or magic creation, and say, if choose any area of your life, maybe health, maybe finance, maybe relationship, we can say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And there will be times that we don't want to do it for whatever reason, or we have a lot of thinking about it. And it's not like we fail. Of course, we can see that, is my current system working for me or against me, first of all? And if it is not working, can I come up with another system? Because it's all made up. This is conscious creation. The systems are conscious creation. You make it up. No one else's system is going to work for you. Your system is going to work for you until it doesn't work anymore. Then throw it and create a new system. But when I say system, it's like having a rough plan of some kind. Say, for example, if you start the morning with no plans, and then you wake up in the morning, your alarm goes off, and your alarm is on your phone, then you start checking Facebook, guess what? That's your system. That's a system. We don't call it a system. That's a default system. Most people go to bed with their phone, and then until they fall off, they might be watching TV. That's a system. And the system, will tell us what results we are getting in life. And it's not a moral thing. It's just like it is. It is what it is, and the results you're getting in that area of your life depends on the systems you have put in place, whether consciously or unconsciously. Yeah. And then when we catch ourselves like, oh, I had a system and I'm still eating jalebi. Well, can you forgive yourself? And and so I went for another festival, which was my Assamese New Year this weekend. And I was telling my coach, oh, but they're going to have Assamese sweets this time. I haven't eaten Assamese sweets for 1 year. Surely I can eat my sweets. And she said, I won't stop you from eating your sweets. You enjoy yourself, but just take 2, okay? No more than 2, because I said everywhere. She said, no more than 2 sweets. And from Monday, which is today, let's do a challenge. Let's do a no sweet challenge. And then I was thinking, I love challenges actually, because I set myself challenges. I did 30 days challenge, I will do this challenge. And actually, I'm up for it. And I said, it's not just sweets, it's also peanuts and other savory things. So I had to come clean rather than pretend it was just sweets, okay? Because anyway, chocolates, I can leave it. Unless I'm very, very stressed, then I might gobble down a few chocolates. But it's also peanuts. So there's something about being authentic with whoever we are. It could be a mentor, it could be a coach, or it could be a loved ones. Our loved ones could be that person for us who completely know us, and we can say, hey, they might support us with that. So what am I saying here? I'm saying here that conscious miracle creation experiment, that particular, the structure, the system we put in place has ended now. And I'm still, making up my own and playing my own thing about this time. It is for no sweet challenge she said, until the end of May, when I'm going to India, and then I'm going to have another challenge. Because India, my sisters and my family, they are not into healthy eating. They will, and there's so much temptation back in India, like, oh, you can eat this, you can eat this. And I know I'll be tempted. And we are only just saying for this month, or for this month until the end of May, and then we'll have another plan, another challenge. So I like it. So my invitation for anyone listening here is like the conscious miracle experiment. You can break it down into chunks. That's your system. We played as a group, we played the 30 days together. Now, couple of you can join hands and say, hey, shall we play this? If you wanted to, or if you want to do it on your own, you can. And the good thing about doing it in chunks is there's something to look forward to. Oh, I'm doing this like conscious creation around no sweets. I know I don't know forever, but can I do it until the end of May? Yeah, end of May only, right? After that, I can go and eat some sweets in India. But it's just like having someone to be being very honest and still having a system of some kind and having fun with the system. I never thought I would enjoy going to the gym and 3 times a week. How do people do 3 times a week? 10,000 steps a day. Oh my OMG. I'm not doing it. And the other day, but there's something, it catches up, it just feels right for you. Sometimes when you have a fun game. So for example, this Saturday, I went for this Assamese Bihu festival. And in the morning, we were prepping, like, because I needed to wear traditional mekla chadar. I gone out of practice. When I was in India, my sisters used to help me wear that. Now I had to help my daughter wear it for the first time, as well as dress myself up. So that was like, oh, I knew I needed to give the whole morning before we go there at 1 o'clock. So I would have taken my steps, and I didn't have time to take my any steps that time. We were just in a hotel. And I was like, okay, then what happened was I forgot to take my charger of the Apple Watch. And so it died down. I said, oh no, what's going to count my steps? Now how am I going to count my steps? Well, luckily, I had the pedometer on my phone installed, except that, you have to carry your phone everywhere. And only then it will count your steps. If you keep it somewhere else and then you walk around, no, it's not going to count. So anyway, I was there and part of me was freaking out, like, how can I make the 10,000 steps today? Because we were going to be there from 1 o'clock until 8:30. And I knew that I could take a few steps, but it would be just 5, 10 steps. And then we had a lovely time. I did have some sweets, like 2 sweets. Then we came back to the hotel, and I told my daughter, right, mommy is going to get get the steps now. But I had to make up 8,000 steps, and it was already 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock at night, or 9:30 in the evening. And so you can imagine. So I didn't have my phone as well. I had to carry I put my jeans on, put my phone in the back pocket, and then put a headphone on, and I was listening to some webinars, some talks, and I just went walking. I also knew that it was quite late, so I didn't want to go off in Birmingham and go places that I don't have a clue as to where I was going, or it could be dubious. It's quite late. So I was like, if I'm sure they caught me on CCTV, like going around that area again and again and again. And it was like I was having fun, except that, like, I didn't want to go any farther because they were quite dark streets as well. So I remember they have a big Tesco just like 10 minutes walk from there. The Tesco is almost like IKEA. I mean, it's huge Tesco. So what I was doing was, after walking outside, I said, maybe I just walk inside Tesco, and the Tesco was just walking inside because it was safer. And then I went out and just around the perimeter of the Premier Inn, I was walking and walking. And guess what? I did the 10,000 steps. I'm like, yeah, this was a game. That was a conscious creation of 10,000 steps at 9:30 when I had to do 8,000 steps. So why I'm saying this is that I didn't have to. I really didn't have to. My husband was, are you sure? It's okay. Tomorrow you can do it. Suraj is like, it's okay. I said, no, I want to do it. I want to do it because I get something out of just creating out of nothing. When I know that it's impossible, and so far, I think, I can't remember how many days. I think it's already 80 days or something of 10,000 steps of 80 days or however long it's been since the 15th of, 60 days plus. I think I started before that. But here's the thing. I have been hyper intentional. There might have, I'm not saying that it doesn't, I'm not saying that, oh, I have to, or that if something happens to me, I still need to. No, but whenever I can, I'm going to do it. So for example, I might have I'm having agreements with my coach. I'm telling her beforehand when I would like to have a suite, for example, when it's a festival, rather than thinking I have to deprive myself, because the word deprivation is worrying us, right? We don't want to deprive ourselves of pleasure. We don't want to deprive ourselves of anything that we like. So this is not about feeling deprived. This is why she said, I would like you to have some sweets. I would like you to enjoy it, and just keep it to 2. You can just enjoy and be mindful with the 2, and be hyper intentional with the 2 sweets that you eat, and that would be enough. So going back to the scripture, and what I'm seeing here, what I'm saying is there was a line in one of the Proverbs I read. I'm very new to this. There's a section in the Bible that I have been exploring, which is the Proverbs section, because they are very small, and like you can just go to the date, and then you can just pick up the Proverbs from the date and just choose one that really speaks to you at some level. Or if I don't understand, I just type on Google, what does what does Proverb 15 verse 12 mean? And then oh, okay. So I've been in a way doing that experiment, okay, because I have no idea sometimes, like, oh, I don't understand this. I lost my train of thought now, but there's something around, oh yes, about feasting, something about you can feast on God's word or something like that. And the wise I'm paraphrasing it, but like the wise can be satisfied, and they don't need a lot of food to be satisfied. You can feast on God's word. And how I'm hearing it, and it's like when we hear truth, there's a deep satisfaction anyway. When we I think Claire was talking about the good feeling. When we get in touch with a deeper feeling of the essence of who we truly are, we don't get addicted to the external stuff like chocolate or needing to, whatever it is. There is a deeper satisfaction of some kind. And what I'm getting more and more is that the Bible, and it has, it can be anything. It can be, Suraj used to read the Vedas, the Eastern, that's our scripture from the Hindu, one of the scriptures, Vedas. He used to read that, and I never used to read it. I said, why are you doing that? I have the principles, I don't need to go look anywhere else. And so I was very dismissive of him and say, no, because I'm into principles, I don't need any of this. What I'm saying is, no, it doesn't mean anything, because some people are talking about, oh, I'm so much into the 3 principles. I don't understand this being movement. I don't want to go there. Don't go there if you don't feel like it. If you don't feel inspired, just stick to the principles. If you feel curious about understanding of being, please explore. You don't have to. Similarly, no one told me that you have to explore the Bible. I'm not even religious. I would never say I'm religious, but I do deeply, I'm connected to, I know that there's something deeper about me. So the reason why I got curious was because Suraj has been exploring all of this, and he is not at all religious. And he has some very deep conversations with me. And I love his way of being. He's not even talking about, oh, who are you being and that kind of thing, but he's coming from a very different place, and he's my husband. So I think since coming from the conference, another miracle for me has been I am listening to Suraj and his wisdom at a different level. I'm also having so much more love for him. Like I think, oh my goodness, I am like the line in my document. I'm extremely grateful to have Suraj in my life. I always knew that, and I think, oh my goodness, I just love this guy. When you see my post, you'll see that he sings beautifully. He sings, he plays the guitar. He's very, very talented. He's a psychiatrist. He's a coach. He's a very talented musician, and he just loves. He's a people person. People loves him. All our friends love him. And there's something about like the other day I posted when I talked about the Assamese Bihu, and then I posted his singing. And the other day, he had gone to church, like Sunday, he had gone to church my Tesla for me, because he likes doing things for me. And I was posting it, and I was just playing it, and I was listening to it. And I just felt so much love. Again, like, you can say I was connected to a deeper feeling beyond his singing, and just the feelings of gratitude came washed over me. And then he came, hey, okay, all right, your Tesla is ready. We can all go. Like, I just say, can I give you a hug? And I said, what happened? I said, it was just like not rehearsed. I didn't have to do it. He was not expecting it. But that is very spontaneous. Like, I'm seeing something deeper about being. I'm seeing something deeper about the principles. I'm seeing something deeper about consciously creating miracles. I'm seeing something deeper about how everything about the principles is also in the Bible. And it does not have to be a religious book for us, all of us who are not religious. And it could be something else. Long time ago, one of my patients, he had been introduced to the principles by me when I was in an inpatient ward. I was a rehab psychiatrist. And he told me one thing that, and he was like, at that time, I was like, oh, but that can't be the principles, because that was not the Three Principles book, but but he had gone to the library and he was like drinking heavily, like not heavily, but he was binge drinking, and everyone was like, oh, you should not be drinking, you should not be drinking. And then he just said he went to the library, he just opened a random book, and there was a line in there that really stood out for him about something about drink, and it was not even an addiction book or anything. And so he got a huge insight. And it was not even the Bible. It was not even a Three Principles book. It was not even something that I would recommend as if you want to stop drinking, or if you want to be mindful about drinking, go and read this book. But he saw something for himself because he followed his wisdom. And all of us have things like that happening randomly in our life. We don't even look back and say, okay, what have I learned, or was this an insight? We don't, or was this a guidance from wisdom or God or universe? We don't even think about this. And that's unconsciously, that is still happening. Imagine if we go about life more consciously. What will happen is we are going to see that there are so many moments in our life where all this keeps happening anyway. Now we have got fresh eyes to see it. Now we are seeing it from a different, from a whole different level. And so, talking about the good feeling that you were talking about, Claire, I think that's a really beautiful thing that you said. And I used to get confused by that. Like, what do you mean, listen for a good feeling? Like, then, because again, at one level, you learn that, oh, thoughts and feelings are the same, and then, oh, it's like good feeling is a good thought, right? The good thought just pops into our head. Then, as my understanding of the principles deepened, how I see that, because I don't know what Sydney Banks really meant, but I know that he was not just talking about feeling as in your thinking feeling. He was talking about a deeper, like who we truly are, that experience, that energetic experience you have got. And I have used a term like Muji. Some of you might know the spiritual teacher called Muji. He talks about the fragrance of the soul. And I hear the listening for a good feeling as like, when we tune into something deeper, it's like there's a fragrance, of the soul. We just know it. It feels like coming from another level than just the intellect. And when we have less thinking going on, when we are less thinking about intellectually and more deeply being present in any moment, chances are we are going to experience that more and more. Some people call it, you can call it the present moment, you can call it the now, you can call it presence. But we all have that experience where there's less thinking in our mind. And then it's just an ordinary day, and yet we have this extraordinary experience of feeling. And yeah, if you I have tried to hold on to that in the past, and we all have, and we know what happens. It's like the butterfly. The more we say, "Oh, I felt peace, I felt this deep feeling. Now can I go and hold the butterfly and make it sit in my like hand again and again?" The butterfly is not going to sit there because we are trying to get the butterfly to sit there. And even if the whole place is full of butterflies, chances are when you try to experience the feeling and experience, get the butterfly to sit on you, chances are they are not going to, because we are not going to be still enough. And so the more we know that, yes, that's already always there, that deeper feeling that Cindy Banks is talking about, tuning into the deeper feeling. And when we get still and we allow ourselves to get still, we can't help but experience the fragrance of the soul, or the deeper feeling is there all the time. And being human, part of the game that God wants to play, or the creator wanted us to play, was keep losing it, and then see what happens. You think you lose it and you have to do something. Actually, you just need to be authentic, need to just know that we all have levels of consciousness. It goes up and down throughout the day. When we are down in the basement and we are caught up in our difficult thinking and all the worried thinking and all the stuff, chances are that we are not going to tune into that. But when we know how the system works, and we know that throughout the day a state of being is up and down, up and down. Like, sometimes we go down and we stay there longer because we are having contaminated thinking and analyzing those thinking. And the moment we wake up, say, "Oh, I'm contracting in the basement, I'm contracting, I'm doing this, and my level of consciousness is contracting, and I don't need to hold on to this, and I can just just be with this." When we just allow ourselves to be with that, even that contracted feeling in the basement, just because we notice it, and just allowing it, in a way, it's like that's when the elevator comes up again, the level of consciousness comes up again, and we then tune into that beautiful feeling, or the deeper feeling, or however you call it. I hope this is making sense. We've got 5 more minutes. When I get started, I don't stop. I'm glad I asked the questions. And do you have anything you would like to hear? So the next 5 minutes, anyone has any reflections from what I've shared so far? Any other questions? Please feel free. Normally what I do, and we can play this game now because we have only 4 more minutes left. Normally what I do is, when I do any talk like this, or when I do a group, I do go around the room and check in with everyone and say, "Is there something you would like to say, one takeaway, or something that it doesn't have to be a takeaway now, nothing might have landed yet, but something that you're willing to consider just playing with, or as a possibility for you, or something you're taking away from today." Because the moment you say it, guess what? You're consciously creating that for you. Okay, so I'm not saying anything had to land for you to speak now, but if you were to just raise your hand and say, "This is what I heard, and this is what I'm going to play with," or anything. This is the opportunity. We have got only 3 minutes, so who wants to go first? Go ahead, Karen.
What just came up for me in an instant was I really wanted Paul to join us. We made an effort to come back, and I jumped on.
Hello.
And it was like, Paul, we're starting. And he didn't come upstairs because he's talking to, you know, family on the phone. And I thought, oh, you can do that afterwards. And you know what just came up for me was stay out of other people's business.
Beautiful. Thank you. And please wish Paul again from our side happy birthday, because it's a special day today. Anyone else? Yeah, again.
Just very quickly, the other thing that came up was it's just a moment by moment by moment. Being in the moment, I know what that, I've heard it, but it's really broken down. You know, the now is like this, it's so thin, but it's so deep. And not thinking about back then or what's going to happen next. So this is something I'm playing with.
Beautiful. Thank you, Carol. Yeah, back.
Yeah, there was something about when you talked about the hyper intention. I really like something in that, so I'm gonna see what comes. Thank you.
Thank you, back. Yeah, go ahead. You're muted, Andrea.
I was going to let Gemma go. Yeah, I think I always really enjoy this time when we're together and we can sort of be reminded really that we have a choice in life, don't we, to how we kind of respond to it then. And I think I've learnt how life can change by how we respond to things, and that's really been powerful for me. But what I've heard tonight, which is really good for me actually, because I'm one of these where I want to do this and I want to do that, but there's so much else going on. I'll start it tomorrow, and tomorrow goes into a week and a month. And I think I've been really encouraged by your hyper intentional I've written down a few things, conscious miracle experiment. So I'm going to try and buy into that, and I'm going to try going forward. Just little things. I'm not going to make it too big, but there are things, ideas that I've got, and I'm going to try and be more conscious about putting those into action. And see what comes of it. So that's really what I've taken away from tonight. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. Wow, it's 8 already. It's an hour. Thank you so much, everyone, for creating this space, for creating this time and being here. And I hope all of you are taking something with you, just a seed, and that would be, and then you can keep watering the seed. Yeah, thank you, Claire. All right, everyone, have an amazing evening. Lots of love, and keep in touch with the Facebook group, and see you around. Lots of love. Bye for now.
Thanks, Rani.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.